balance is a form of equilibrium. The ability to stand upright is a very advanced form of equilibrium. And we go back to what our friend Amy Edmondson says that about equilibrium, which is that this balance is not necessarily physical. It may be mental or emotional as well. In fact, so much of experience is characterized by fluctuation in and out of fragile balances that it is easy to understand the word's frequent use covering everything from structural to emotional to financial equilibrium. And so this is the game. On physical levels, yes. On psycho-emotional levels, absolutely. And it's that psycho-emotional level that brings us into the nature-based map of the human psyche offered by the Animas Valley Institute. And so we're going to look at this really quick. Bill Plotkin is a depth psychologist in the Jungian tradition who at a young age, became the chair of his department, full tenure, all that. And, you accomplish all the things you want to do in life and that's not it. And so he went out searching for more. He became a wilderness guide, started doing vision fasts, these sorts of things. And he wrote a book called Soulcraft. He wrote a book called Wild Mind. He's got another one called Nature and the Human Soul. Another one, his latest, is The Journey of Soul Initiation. And so this is his map of the human psyche using the cardinal directions plus up and down to map archetypes of the psyche. So there's a lot in here from Jungian depth psychology to like internal family systems and parts work is all part of this practice. And we're not going to go into this. This is a whole other course. This is part of the year-long multidimensional membership program where we work with these archetypes to do this inner investigation of if I am psycho-emotionally off balance, right? If I'm experiencing anything other than the peace, joy, freedom, calm, confidence, curiosity that is indicative of being in the center of my true capital S self, then my gyroscope must be showing that I'm like off balance somewhere on a psycho-emotional level. And so cool, like that's a nice theory, but how can I talk about that? How can I actually work with that? And so this approach gives us a map to understand oh, I'm feeling these symptoms, so I must be off balance. Maybe I'm leaning too far in the west, and so I can pull myself back to the east. The west is the shadow, very like occult underground sort of stuff, and like really like intense work, very beautiful in that way, the dream realm. But then the east is like humor. It's the trickster, the sage, the sacred fool. It's more playful. It's like, okay, if I'm getting too much in the doldrums and getting terrified, now okay, let's make a joke about it, right? And so we can keep ourselves. This map of the psyche is its own form. It's like a subtle gyroscopic stabilizer. And so this is the intrapersonal view, how we relate to ourselves. There's also an interpersonal view, how others see us and how we act out in the world. And so just to be clear, this is a map of the cardinal directions, and then there's also spirit above and soul below. So we've got the 6 basic degrees of freedom encoded into this map of the psyche. So there are, of course, many potential maps of archetypal psychological parts, and every system is wrong, right? It's all just an approximation of the reality of our lived experience, which is inevitably messier than any system can encode for. But this system is pretty brilliant, in my opinion, and it's done wonders for me, and so I like to share it with others. And so